Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Allison Rouse, author of this little book right here. These other little books, my funny-ass merchandise, down in that description. Go down, fiddle about, check it out. And as always, I just want to be so thankful for everybody here because I think we really do have an amazing community. You guys are very supportive, not just of me, but of each other. You're very open with me, and I appreciate that, and it makes me feel a little more open. You guys, I can't even thank you enough because I don't think you understand really how much of an influence you are with allowing me to be open, because I don't get that a lot in my life, to be true who I am. I mean, after I left Vegas, and it really does help because I'm finding it easier to write the second book because of how everybody is here. So I really appreciate that, you guys. I just beyond thank you every day for the rest of my life. Thank you. You guys rock. And what rocks, little kink sometimes, doesn't it? We all like a little kink. And it may be, not really crazy thing, but we all have our things that we like in life, and I'm going to tell you about a few of them that the rockers had today. And today I'm still trying to finish up this 6-pack of the Roja because I love these guys, but this is a nice summer flavor, and it's getting November. Well, it is November, and it's still 67 degrees out here in Salt Lake City. Tell me if you're having a long summer, fall, which I love the fall. I'm so happy I still get to see the colors. But yeah, it's still warm, so let's have some peachy fuzzy face. And sometimes just kink's not your thing. It can leave a sour taste in your mouth, leave you a little puckered. Don't ask how I know. All right, everybody. Stop your puckers, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails and some kinky rocktails. Oh, yeah. Our local Rojas really do a great job. Like, seriously. They are really good. Like I always say. Oh, cheers, big ears. Like I say, these guys, this peach sour, shades for me will always be the absolute awesomeness of the flavor makers. But these guys, if you want something a little less tart, a little less intense, a little less salty, Roja has balanced it for you. So, all right, like I said, cheers, big ears. Good little flavor. All right, so let's talk about kinks, because some kinks, they're right out there on stage with the band. Marilyn Manson, we can all guess. Well, we've heard the news. Stuff like that. We've heard ex-girlfriends talk. Rob Halford made a whole, wardrobe for heavy metal out of his kink. But these are obvious ones that we really, really know. So, Steve Jones, this is one of the easiest ones. Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols. We know he's an addictive personality. He's been sober, and God love him, he's been sober over 30 years. That's friggin' awesome. Congratulations, Steve. That says a lot about the strength and belief you have in yourself, so that's awesome. But, so he, in his life, he kind of filtered satisfied other addictions while, being sober from another. And sex was definitely his addiction, to the point where he has a thing, and he wrote a whole song about it. Leave your shoes on. I used to love that. Was like the first song I would dance to a lot of times when I would first go on stage at night, because it was such a great groove. It was just like, and leave your shoes on. What a perfect song to strip to, right? But it was just a really great groove to get that first dance into, get that vibe, get stretched out, get things going. So leave your shoes on. Again, he put his kink right out there, and good for him, And having been to his house and participated in his other kink, videotaping. I got a new camera. Yeah, sure, it was new, like last year, right? I knew it was last year's model. I just let you, Steve, okay? I just play your game. Like I said, if I was born a man, I would have been born you. I know you a mile away. Anyway, so he comes out, has me put on this little schoolgirl skirt. I'm like, God, I hope you washed this. I checked it out thoroughly, and then little red heels, which she says, what size are you? And goes in this little cabinet in his living room in the corner, opens it up, pulls out my size of red heels. And that's cool, I'm glad that I respect someone who is definitely out there with their kink, who definitely, between two consenting adults, it's all good. Know your safe words, honor the safe words. That's the only thing, And he totally embraces his little fetish, his red shoe fetish, his heels and the little schoolgirl skirt. He likes to, he just loves to satisfy himself, and he's not afraid of that kink, and he's not afraid of sharing it. So good on him. So if you're after Steve Jones and the Sex Pistols, red heels, schoolgirl skirt, because I was wearing that. That's right. I didn't even think about that. The night I met Steve, I was in a red plaid mini skirt, like the little, pleated one, and just a silk top tied up, a white top buttoned down that I just didn't even have anything underneath it. Yeah. So I didn't even think that that's what I was wearing the night I met him. So when I went into his home and he had all this stuff made, like he went to a seamstress and shopped for shoes. Give me one of each size. Probably Fredericks of Hollywood. I did look at the label. I don't think he was springing for Louboutins. So, yeah, Steve Jones, red shoes, this little plaid mini skirt. And don't be afraid to smile for the camera. Just don't let him zoom in. I've done a whole episode about this. Don't zoom in on the hoo-ha. Not when you have a 6-foot fucking big old TV. Jesus Christ. Like I said, the name of the episode, The Clam That Ate the World. Woo. I mean, it's pretty and all, but no. It looks like it was coming for me. It was coming for Steve, but anyway. Baby shark, baby shark. He likes it messy. Oh, that's right. He loves it messy. There's another kink. So Steve is like a plethora of kinks that he just fucking lives freely and happily with, and I'm there for it. Like, I played the game because yeah, he likes it messy. Like, if you want to, it's just spit everywhere and get like, oh, you couldn't see it. Like, yeah, make sure that there's a trail. Make it messy. So there you go. Let's go Dave Gahan. I think it's quite obvious Dave doesn't mind a little bit of, Christian Grey play, a little bit, like the one Backstreet Boy that I said. I think his wife confirmed that for me. Likes to, not necessarily all the kink and the tying up and the S&M and stuff, but the adventure. So definitely Dave Gahan is definitely an adventurer. He does like a little kink, a little this, a little tying up. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it 100%, because it's not like, I'm not into whips and chains and stuff like that, but it was more the tying up and there's nothing you can do because somebody's pleasuring you all over that body. That's Dave Gahan. Another reason why he's the best rock fuck I've ever had. Doesn't mind a little slip of the finger, ladies. If you go a little bit across the taint border, the border of taint, is that like the, equator in the man's world? Which there's a little bit of a, piece of jewelry at the taint with Dave Gahan. So he definitely is the kink that really heightens the senses, so to speak, because anybody who knows that area knows that that's a lot of nerve endings. See, I tell you, this is a reason. I don't know where I learned all this, but I mean, I learned from a roadie that a woman has more than one G-spot. Guess my whole rock and roll education gained something. I know where to put my tongue. So yeah, so he really kind of likes that a little bit more walk on the wild side, but not too wild. Not Marilyn Manson, put me in a box and make me wear chains type of thing. That was allegedly and supposedly consenting. But that's okay. That's his kink. That's, that's it. That's it. Some people, I mean, and it's just really, like I said, it's to each their own. And I'm not trying to damnation anybody for this or call them out or anything like that. Obviously, I was with Steve Jones a lot for almost 5 years. Yeah. I think I was the closest thing he had to a girlfriend since Chrissy Hind or Nina in the 70s, you know? We have mutual friends I know about. And we all saw Pistol. But yeah, so, I mean, like I said, obviously I was okay with all this. So there's lines I don't cross, and it's all good. Like I said, fine. We're not going to gel with everybody. Let's see, who else do I have? There's a lot, like voyeurism isn't necessarily, it's very rampant in rock and roll, especially in the 80s. It's not necessarily to do with everybody's voyeurism. It has to do more with semantics. Like Oris likes to tell a story about my friend Davany. I mean, there was no place in the Salt Palace where anybody could get a room in that way. So he found, like the back lounges of the bus, there was somebody in the hallway where the bunks were. The plane was busy out at the tarmac, the dressing rooms, bathrooms, every place was locked except for one room, the janitor's closet. So him and David go in there, does whatever. She spits it all out. As we do, ladies, the Kip Winger story. Spits it out onto the floor of the Salt Palace, and she goes, well, isn't that apropos? See, we were smart-ass ladies back then. And we were like, we knew what we were doing, and we were okay with it. We were not part of a sexual revolution. We were part of sexual freedom, that came after that. So a lot of voyeurism. I mean, there's definitely been times where I've been in the same room and someone's been in the second bed, because smaller tours, sometimes you have to lodge together, like when you're first starting out. I talk about that with Dave Mustaine and his tour manager. That didn't turn out well for the tour manager. I mean, do not stand at the end of the bed. There's a guy right there. So I wonder if that was his kink. Just definitely voyeurism was that guy's kink, the tour manager's kink, because there were two of us in that bed that was next to him when they first started out. Let's see. A foot fetish, definitely. I don't think there's a rock star that has not commented on my feet, like, ooh, nice toes. Ooh, I like your... Because I go very elaborate with my toes. I'm too old to put my feet over my head anymore, but I'll take a picture and show them to you there. But no, it's like definitely foot fetish and voyeurism. Very, very normal, because like I said, if you're on the bus, there's going to be people. Like Chuck Billy and I, one time, we were on the bus after the show because they were leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning. We wanted to get one last little shag in there before we left. Don't like the back lounge, but you know what? At least it has a door and a lock, and there was no gaps above where you could put a mirror like Mike Inez did whenever Jerry Cantrell was in the background, in the back lounge, because Jerry Cantrell, we're not going to talk about the kink I did a whole episode. Soft chocolate ice cream. But yeah, so Chuck and I were in there on the back of the bus, and it was just like, it was shaking. It was shaking pretty hard. I did the upside down tour bus trick for him that night too. So yeah, voyeurism, people know what we're doing on the back lounge of the bus. They know what we're doing in the fucking dressing room. Like I said, in the 80s, every room was full. The hotel, the gig, the bus, everything. Everybody was getting laid in the 80s. It was fucking awesome. That's why we were so happy and not fucking all kinked up, But yeah, so voyeurism, foot fetish, very, very common in rock and roll. Very, very normal. No one's gonna bat an eye. I mean, I remember having sex in a room with Scott Dalhover, Danny and her guy, and it wasn't like an orgy. It was just they were sharing rooms, and we were just under the covers doing our thing. And Scott Dalhover, his kink was marking his territory. He used to bite me. Like he would bite. Just not like to draw blood or anything or to make it hurt. He would like mark his and I'd be like, you can't bite me. I'm a stripper. I take my clothes off. People are going to see this shit. He's like, that's okay. People know that you've been marked. I'm like, what the fuck ever, dude? And it was just something that was kind of a natural reaction for him too. When he came, he kind of gritted his teeth together. So yeah, always bit me. And actually, a cop questioned when I first started dancing, and Scott had been in town. And when you first start dancing, your body gets used to being slammed around the stage, rapping on the pole. You're going to have bruises. That's just a fact. Anybody who starts pole work, who starts dance work, who's doing all that, you have bruises wherever you hit the pole or hit the floor, stuff like that. And I had bruises, like I had one kind of right here. Scott kind of bit my boob here, bit my neck, and bit on the inside of my thigh. And the cop was like, "Are you okay? I can see those are I'm like, "Yeah, they are welcome bite marks. It was okay. They don't hurt me. He's just a little excited. That's all." So that was kind of Scott Dalhover's. Like, he kind of liked to mark that territory there. The Scott D. Wayne Dalhover makes awesome guitars. If you're looking for an original, unique guitar that's badass, hit up Scott. He definitely has some really, really awesome, so talented at making guitars. And he loves guitars. He plays it, so he knows. But yeah, that was Scott D. Wayne's little kinky kink. See, 13-year bass player. This is kind of a cruel one because it's kind of controlling, but it ends up culminating in like fucking yeah, like just fireworks. So 13-year bass player, and I don't mean John Entwistle. Everybody knows there's this couple guys that I don't say their names here in my book or anything because no, fuck no, I'm not giving him the time of day. But 13-year bass player, he kind of liked, and it wasn't like control, it was just like he wants things. He knows how to bring you right there and then just pull back. And that was his thing. Like, he would get you right to that point. It's like seconds before you're fucking grabbing the headboard, whatever, but Baron, it's coming, and then he just backs off. Makes you start all over again in a different position. And he knows it. He knows he's doing it too. Because he knows that teasing you is going to make the end result more insanely crazy wonderful. And it was. It was. I mean, and Dave God kind of did the same thing. I don't think Dave, like, with Dave, it was definitely not a control thing. It was definitely a part of the kink thing. It was just like bringing someone to the brink and taking them right back. And yeah, 13-year bass player was just very much that. Like, even when we fought, he could bring you right to that brink. I knew when he was in a mood because he would just step right to the left of where he knew not to step on the mind bomb, So yeah, because kinks are not always, a physical thing. It's sometimes a mental thing, which really S&M, BDSM, and all that, it is, and it's very much like you have to respect your partner. There's definitely a trust and a respect that goes into things like that. So it's just like a taunting, a teasing thing with 13-year bass player, and when people do it, it's nothing meant to that carried over outside of the bedroom. Let's see. Ooh, James Hetfield. You don't look at James Hetfield thinking he'd have a kink. Oh, but he does. He has something that he always liked back then. A lot of people talked about it. I would never do it for him. Because, as far as James Hetfield's concerned, he's vanilla in the sheets. Not crazy, not wild, doesn't stay in one position, and not boring and not bad in bed. He's just not Dave Gone, I mean, he did do tub tarts and stuff, but that's because that was also a kink, an egotistical kink, coming off stage and having all these girls, women treating you like you are a fucking Roman god, washing you down like you are a fucking, like, Coming to America, basically, the beginning of Coming to America, where Eddie Murphy is being bathed by all these beautiful women. Yeah, that was Metallica in the 80s. I was never a tub tart. That was kept so far away from me that I didn't know about it for a couple of years before, while it was going on. We had no clue. And it wasn't happening with James and Lars when Danny and I were there, because we were in a separate dressing room with them. But yeah, so the kink is like I said, James, he likes a threesome. He likes to have a couple threesomes. I know a couple that he was involved in. Groupies know everything. We literally are the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like, Kevin Bacon got nothing on us. We're usually 2 degrees, 1 degree. So, yeah. Rock and roll's a small family, people. Ask John Entwistle and other rock stars whose other longtime lovers I'm becoming friends with. And I love it. I love it that us ladies are having a great time coming together and enjoying swapping stories and comparing notes. Because, that's kind of a kink for some people. The boost to the ego for it. What was this one? Hold on. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I always forget about this. So there used to be this Van Halen cover band. One of the guys was Bart. I think they eventually became Steel Panther. And Crazy Lisa and I were in Vegas. It was a slow weekend. Somehow we ended up somewhere where they were playing, and it was just like this little stage where you were like basically eye to eye. They were only like this far, like off the ground, the stage was. So we just sort of walked in and we just stood there. We're like, oh, cool, cover band. And she's like, oh, that lead singer's hot. I'm like, eh. But we ended up back at the hotel. They're like, bring baby oil. Okay. We brought baby oil and we were all slithering and slathering, participating in voyeurism. Because it's an orgy when you swap partners. It's an orgy when everybody's, like, with Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, Alan Covert, their Hot Fan Greg, the during the Happy Gilmore one when that came out. Yeah, that happened. That's an orgy. That's where everybody's just limbs are tangled, holes are filled, and people are on balconies. We're all just sort of coming together, literally. And that's people's kinks too. So maybe that was their kink. Maybe that's because everybody was participating. It was fun. So these guys in the Van Halen cover band, and Bart ended up like calling me for like 2 months later, and I just never got back to him. But I'm like, no, not my thing, because yeah, baby oil parties, they're very high school to me. So yeah, I don't know, we were all covered in baby oil, slipping and sliding like it was a fucking Tropicana on oil wrestling night, So, and we all know P. Diddy. That was... I wonder if they had been to a P. Diddy party, because that was around the time that was all happening that they decided they wanted... No, that's definitely... I did that in high school with this guy, Jeff, too. On a waterbed. So that's just kind of a silly, fun kink, like... Yeah, I don't want it in crevices and stuff because it's not my thing. That's like people who like whipped cream and food. No. I used to do like, it just starts to smell like spoiled milk after a while, especially when there's friction going on. Bodies start slapping. Yeah, anybody who likes whipped cream and food, I get it, but keep it out of the crevices because that doesn't end up good all the time. So yeah, there was that baby oil fetish. What else do I have? Oh, Glenn Tipton. Well, I don't know if this is really a fetish or an anti-fetish. I don't know. So Glenn Tipton didn't start going down on women until he was 50. At least that's what he told me. Golf clap to the lovely lady who taught him what he was doing. That's very, very good. Thank you very much. And that's my fetish, That's not fetish, that's foreplay. So yeah, that's he was... Some people can get something, he really, really liked it after once he just started doing it. He just loved that shit. And then sometimes that is somebody's fetish because there's guy's gonna go down there, he's just gonna make you stay there till you fucking just roll off the bed and your eyes rolled back in your head and you have to clean yourself up with a hotel towel. And so that was some people's fetish, and definitely Glenn Tipton gained a new fetish at 50, and well done you. Probably the last nice thing I'll ever say about him again. But okay, in my kink, I think we should all know that by now. It's the seduction. The walking in, knowing that I dressed for these guys, the second you get their attention, the conversation, the laughter, the chemistry, the back and forth, getting them up to bed and just having it my way. I always listen to what a man wants, don't get me wrong, but it's my seduction. And that's my kink from the second it starts to the orgasm to afterwards till, an hour later, let's do that again, baby. To breakfast in the morning, having sex on the balcony with, that's all my kink. That's seduction. To see where I can take them. To see where I can get them. And sometimes you do what they want because it's like they think you've got control. Like Steve's like, oh, here, put on these shoes, put on the skirt. And I just do. Because I know that's what he likes. And I know that he likes it messy to this day. I know what James Hetfield's like. Makes it easier to seduce him anytime you want him. To this day I could. If I wanted to. And part of my kink is always knowing that with a few of those rockers, I'm the coulda, shoulda, woulda girl. And that, like I said, that's the thrill for me. It's like I said, it's the seduction. It's like that hook, line, sinker. It's the act of sex. It's everything that goes along with it. The foreplay, the bond you create, just the whole thing. Having a lover. Not like a jump off or a fuck buddy. That's too shallow for what the rock stars in my life have been. They've been my lovers. Oof, I love it. It turns me on. I love having a guy that I don't see all the time. And when we do see each other, we're going out to dinner, going on sightseeing. We're enjoying the company. Taking in the music, the senses, the dinner, the moment, the sex, the whole thing. That's my kink. Tell me yours down in that description, you guys. Let me know what your kink is. Let me know what your rock star kinks are. And I even tried to look up a list to see if I could find other ones than just ones I know. And there's really not a whole lot there's one kind of lame one, that Marilyn Manson, Rob Halford, the ones we know. We know they're kinks, Yeah, tell me the kinks that you know down in those comments. Let's get a whole new list going. And I'll use them in a future episode. In a future episode. And yeah. And I forgot, I'm trying to find, I know I have a Q&A coming up. So I'm going to make a short where it's just the Q&A. So, because I'm trying to find the one where all the questions are. Because I want to do another question and answer episode. Because there was a lot of really good questions that people had. And I really do want to answer it. So I'm just going to make another one because I can't find the short that I put it on. Sorry, I had to burp. Hi, Beluga. What you doing, baby? My kitty's here. Hold on. Say hello to baby Beluga. That's his resting bitch face. He's mad. He's big mad because I made him come cuddle. But this is baby Beluga. Say hello. Okay, we'll let him go. Oh, there you go. All right, so yeah. Show me your kitties in the comments. No, I'm kidding. Show me your dicks. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to see them. Enough said. All right, so everybody, tell me your kinks or the rockstar kinks in the comments. Let me know how that is. And thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode. I'm so excited because today I'm doing an interview with a metal show. I mean, just so many cool interviews coming up. Like I have like 4 interviews over the next couple months that I'm going to be doing. And I want to thank everybody who's helped me get those interviews, who's done interviews and said, hey, passed it on to their friends who have a podcast. And this girl's interesting. Thank you guys really, truly so much. I can't tell you how much that means to me because I've worked so hard to get here. And like I said, I just am very, very lucky that I get to meet a lot of badass people who enjoy my stories. So it means the world to me. And thank you for getting to the end of it. And if you're just hanging out, if you're just stumbling on, be part of the family. Support the channel. Press the subscribe button. Press the share button. Let's get out there. Watch at least one commercial. And then hit my bells. So you know whenever I come out, cocktails or rocktails. But we know every Thursday and Sunday. All right. Cheers, my dears.